One of the best parts about the NFL is just how surprising it is. I mean, we never know what's going to happen. Anyone can beat anyone on any given Sunday, but not to mention we never know who the best players in the league are. Let's talk about who the most surprising ones have been this year. Starting off with the most important position in all of sports, who has been the most surprising quarterback this season?
In my opinion, it's Daniel Jones. I know I'm not saying he's like the best quarterback we're going to be talking about, but the fact is that we basically thought he wouldn't start at the beginning of the year. We probably had him the 30th best quarterback in the league, and now he's top half of the league guy. I know the last couple of weeks it hasn't been pretty, but he's led this team to be the top 3 team in the AFC. I think the 3rd best team in the AFC. It's pretty good.
He was definitely someone I was considering. I actually did go with Sam Darnold, mainly because, especially for us, that's something we're going to have to own up to a lot at the end of this year is, we kind of said this was a terrible move from the Seahawks, just a lateral move.
Well, I kind of said, it was good in the sense that you got rid of Geno, you got him, but I wish that they rebuilt.
Right, that's what we said. It's the move of getting rid of, getting a third we basically said it was the same. And this year, we could not have been more wrong about that, in my opinion, because Geno Smith is
I did say it was a slight upgrade.
Okay, it's a massive, massive upgrade, and you got a 3rd-round pick for it. Very, very, very good move for the Seahawks. And Sam Darnold has just been so surprising with how elite he's been. For me, a big reason I thought he wasn't going to be able to succeed with the Seahawks is that interior offensive line. I was like, he struggles with that. He struggles with interior pressure, so why would that make sense for him? One, Gray Zabel's been very good this season. It's helped the interior a lot. But also, we're kind of learning that Geno Smith makes his interior look maybe even worse than they are.
Way worse.
And Sam Darnold has an incredible connection with JSN. No run game, and he's still, highest yards per attempt in the league by a mile. He's been absolutely incredible in every advanced metric you can think of. They're winning football games. And this team is scary, man. I mean, last game, obviously, he did not play great. Last game against the Rams, he did throw 4 interceptions. That's really bad. Yet this team was still in a position to win the game at one point. They missed a game-winning field goal. That's how you know this team is freaking good, man, because they're playing one of the best teams in the league. And I think I still don't think I trust Sam Darnold in the playoffs. I need to see something. The one time we've seen in the playoffs, he absolutely was horrible. I mean, he was terrible against the Rams last season. Now he goes back against the Rams and throws 4 interceptions. That doesn't make you feel great about that. But he's still been an amazing quarterback and very surprising to me. I didn't put Daniel Jones because, yes, he's been very surprising, but he's been on a very, very steep decline as of the last few weeks, coming off a bye. And this video is going to come out tomorrow, I believe, right? Tonight is the Bills-Texans game. You guys will already know what happened. If the Texans beat the Bills tonight, I think the Texans are going to take the AFC South. I'm putting that out there right now, and only if they win tonight. But I think that they will beat the Colts twice. I think that, because they still have to play the Colts twice. But I think that Daniel Jones is just not as good as we thought he was. I think he's finally coming back down to earth. And yes, he's been way better than we expected. But I think the difference from what I expected from Sam Darnold is going to be even greater by the end of this season.
Yeah, I mean, I also had him on there. He was my second guy. I also put down Drake May just so we could talk about him. For me, he wasn't that surprising. I had him as a breakout guy. I knew, obviously, his rookie year, he wasn't just going to be that good. He's supposed to be a project guy, and he's just come onto the scene this year. Obviously, he's not as surprising as the other 2 guys, but he definitely had a breakout.
I think that's a great call, and someone I didn't even think about. But, even for you, biggest Drake May lover besides Drake May lover is probably you. And I think that, we've talked about multiple times, how you thought it was going to be another year before he takes this elite of a step, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, you still thought he was going to take a big step this year, but even, he just took so much bigger of a step than I expected, that anyone expected, really. He's been very, very elite this season. In MVP conversations, whether you think he deserves it or not, he's there. And I think he's top 2 right now, if not the front runner. So very, very, very elite play from Drake May. And like you said, it's not surprising that he's good. It's just surprising he got there this fast, I think. Especially considering he was a project guy.
Yeah.
So very, very good call out, in my opinion. You have anyone else before we
No, that's everyone I put down.
All right, running back, I think there's 2 options here.
Yeah, I agree.
I put down Javonte Williams because I don't think it's necessarily close. I think the second guy is very surprising too. But I watched Javonte for 17 games last season. Let me tell you, it is so unbelievably different. I don't know if he was just still recovering from injury. I don't know. Because we have a good offensive line. We have a great offensive line. And he could not do anything, and I mean nothing. He had the same amount of touchdowns in 2 games that he did all of last season. He had the same amount of yards in 7 games that he did all of last season. He's been a top 5 rusher in yards. He's been very efficient with yards per carry, which is not something you would expect from a guy like him, in my opinion. If he averaged 4.4, I think that's like
Yeah,
good for his style of running back, right? And so he's been so good. And I didn't even expect him to be usable, if I'm being completely honest. Based on what I saw last season, the difference is absolutely insane. That's why I think it's not close. I think he's just the biggest breakout this season.
I put Rico Dowdle.
Yeah, that was the other option.
Yeah, he's just been a lot better, in my opinion, especially when you watch him play than Javonte.
So
Javonte doesn't look like a superstar when you watch him play. Rico Dowdle does. Mm-hmm. And both of them signed, funnily enough, they both signed a 1 year, $3 million contract. Not sure why the Cowboys didn't just keep Rico Dowdle, personally. It doesn't make any sense to me, but obviously they made it work out with Javonte.
I think it's only between these two guys, if we're being honest.
I was put down Travis Etienne just to
he's not been good recently.
Yeah, but this season he was way better than last year. Last year he was terrible.
Yeah, but he hasn't been good since week 6 or something. So
that's not true.
I mean, not everyone acted like he was really good at the beginning of the year. I haven't seen anything about him.
He's still top 7 in rushing yards.
Really?
And he's still good efficiency.
I didn't know he was.
He's been pretty good this year.
But going back to Rico Dowdle, Rico Dowdle is very surprising.
Well, he also had a bigger hill to climb. Javonte came into the backfield, was obviously going to be their starter.
Yeah,
Rico Dowdle had to get over.
No, I agree, but I literally thought that they were going to have the worst run. I think we all thought that they were just only going to throw the ball. We talked about that. You predicted CeeDee Lamb to be like a top 3 receiver because they're only going to throw the football.
If he had the production George Pickens has had, he would be a top 3 receiver.
George Pickens is open every play. He's outperforming CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, I know. So it wasn't a bad prediction.
No, I know. That's not what I'm saying. It wasn't bad. I'm saying that you predicted that because we thought he was only going to throw the football because we thought they weren't going to be able to run the ball. And I think that they've been able to run the ball very well. And in some games this season, they've been able to run the ball a lot better than they could throw it, actually. Which is, I would never, ever guess. If you told me at the beginning of the season that was going to happen, I was like, you're an idiot, right? So, after watching Rico Dowdle last season, after watching Javonte last season, I was confident Javonte was gone. I was like, this is so sad. He was so good his rookie season. That injury has just destroyed him. And I love Javonte. I'm glad he's broken back out. A little salty that he didn't do it for us, but I'm glad he worked through that injury. Rico Dowdle to me was someone that I was like, this guy's underrated. I like Rico Dowdle. He had 1,000 yards last season.
Also 2 touchdowns last season.
Right, but he's efficient. He's a good hard runner. The run blocking was not good last season. He was still able to perform really well. I liked him a lot. I didn't think he'd be this good, obviously, and that's why I said they're both surprising. But when you think one guy is super underrated, when you think another guy is dog water, and then they're both top 5 in rushing, the guy that you thought was trash is more surprising to me.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm glad we went with different ones, though.
Yeah, I think they both deserve huge shout-outs. For wide receiver, though, I only put one guy.
There's so many options.
I think it is far and away Jackson Smith and Jake.
Yeah, just because of how good of a season he had, yeah.
He is still on pace to break the record.
Is he?
For receiving yards, yes.
I don't think he is.
No, he still is. I'm pretty darn sure.
I know there's a list of however many games he's played, players with that much, and they all have, there's 8
But he was still on pace. That's because...
Extra game, too.
Yes, but I really do think that this is either way a historic level season. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, he isn't even playing a bunch of fourth quarters. They take him out so early.
He went out in the first half 2 weeks ago.
Right, they're taking him out so much to the point where he's not even going to have an extra game because he's played so many less quarters. This guy has 80 yards every time I look at the freaking stats. It's first quarter, let's see how the Seahawks game's going. 85 yards and a touchdown. It's how already? Again, it's every single week, and that's why it's surprising. I think we did our wide receiver predictions by the end of the year. I don't think either of us had
both of our probably low to mid teens.
That's what I'm saying. I don't even know if we either had him in the top 15. My guess would be 15 or 20 is where we had
maybe
him.
15.
And he is arguably the best receiver in the NFL right now. I mean, it's insane. That is a huge difference. Yeah. The fact that we're talking about him with Jamar Chase and Puka Nacua. I mean, I think he's better than Puka. He's outplayed Puka.
I don't know. I'd have to see over the next couple of weeks how Puka comes back from his injury.
I think it's going to be based on how they end the year, obviously. Yeah. But the fact that he's in the conversation with those guys, I never would have even imagined that.
Yeah, he was almost a guy who he felt like when people drafted him, it felt like he was going to be a guy who's going to be a good receiver, maybe even a good number 1 receiver, but never be in the elite conversation. That's why he went at 15, 16?
Yeah, and I think it's 19 actually.
Oh yeah, I think that's exactly right.
And so he he really has taken that step to I mean, he's on historic pace right now. He's so young and he's doing this. This is actually ridiculous. Especially with the team we expect. Sam Darnold and JSN is the most surprising thing this season. It's not close.
Their connection's so good.
Right. Their chemistry, ridiculous. I mean, JSN, in my opinion, is the most surprising thing I have on this list because I just never would have ever guessed that he's going to become literally a historic level receiver. Yeah. That is insane. But who'd you put down besides Jason?
A couple other guys I want to give a shout out to. Obviously, George Pickens traded for a 3rd-round pick to be the number 2 receiver behind CeeDee Lamb. Well outperformed him. He's 2nd in the league in receiving yards. He's had a great year. Tet is the guy who continues to surprise me. I did not realize he was 6th in the league in receiving yards.
I actually,
a lot of it's from last game.
I'm very glad you touched on it. He did have a really big last game.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Tet, based on where he is in yards, I didn't realize he was that much until you actually brought it up while we were prepping for this video. But something that I think about Tet, he really reminds me of what's happened with Brian Thomas. I think he's going to have the yards. I think he's going to have the production. And I think next year he's going to have a slump. And I just don't think he's ever going to be
It's hard to predict the Brian Thomas, because if we had another Brian Thomas this year, identical to him, I think he's way better than Tet. At least, especially before the season. If I watched Brian Thomas this year, I wouldn't predict him to be Brian Thomas, because I think he's great.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. I think when I watch Tet, I'm not impressed necessarily. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and I think he does have the production and stuff.
He also
we'll see how he ends the year.
He gets a lot of volume.
So much volume. We will see how he ends the year, but it is very surprising, like, to see him at 6 in general. Even if you don't think he's that good of a player, just the fact that he's up there is surprising enough. So that's definitely a good shout. Anybody else?
I do have one more. Okay. Alec Pierce is averaging 75 yards per game, and he's 1st in the league in yards.
I saw that he was like 25 in yards.
Yeah, but he's missed a few games. I think he's played 7 games.
Dang.
Like, it's ridiculous. Cooking. Yeah, he's definitely expanded. He's not just a deep threat anymore. He can also run short to intermediate routes.
Good deep threat.
Still, obviously, his best trait, but he's broken out to be like a very, very good number 2 receiver.
Yeah, I mean, he's been very, very surprising this season. I think that's another very good shout. Tight end, you have a few options. I narrowed it down to 1 for me, so I think
there's a lot of good options. I got Aronde Gadsden.
That is
5th round pick.
That's my number.
He's like 5th in tight end receiving yards, and he missed the first 3 games.
Oh yeah, for tight ends. I thought you just meant
maybe it was like 6th. I don't know. And he missed multiple games at the beginning of the year. Obviously had a few big games in there and hasn't been as great recently, but still getting like 40 yards per game after his like huge month of great play.
Yeah, and I mean, when you have that huge of a game, you're already surprising, you know. He's already had a phenomenal 5th round pick tight end season if he ended it right now. And that's saying something, you know. I think we're normalizing these guys like Trey McBride, who are going to have these yards that like receivers would have, but that's just not normal. That's not what we're supposed to see. And Aronde Gadsden was not supposed to. Like, you loved him, obviously, great sleeper from you in the draft, but most people just didn't even know who this guy was. I didn't know who he was, but if I didn't know you, I would have had zero idea. And so, but he's just like, you know, a guy you want as your tight end. He's athletic. He can move. He can route run. He can catch the football. I think he's going to develop some great chemistry with Justin Herbert. I think in a couple years they're going to be an incredible duo. If not, you know, at the end of this year to next year, right? So definitely a weapon that Justin Herbert is happy to have, and like he was my surprising tight end because like the fact that he's that high up there is crazy. I mean, he's does he have more yards than Bowers this season?
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's something that I just never would have predicted.
Yeah, Bowers has missed multiple games, but
I mean, so is Gadsden.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And that's with so many mouths to feed in that offense. Keenan Allen, Lad McConkey, Quentin Johnston has had a resurgence. Obviously, the last few weeks hasn't been that great. They also have Trey Harris, who they want to get the ball to. There's so many mouths to feed, and he's still producing. And
also, like, he's got to get open very fast because this line does not give Herbert time.
Yeah.
Who else did you have, though?
I also put down Jawan Johnson. I believe he is 5th in tight end receiving yards, which you would not expect.
I had no idea about
He's a pure receiving threat, though, not much of a blocker.
Yeah.
And
he's more of a receiver.
He's got that college connection with Tyler Shuck. Because him being 28, being in the league for like 4.5 years, maybe 5 years, played with Tyler Shuck somehow in college. And then I also put down A.J. Barner. Bro, he's so good. He's such a good blocking tight end.
Yeah.
I know.
Cool.
He's also a great receiving tight end.
He's not a great
receiving tight end. He's had some great games through the air. Obviously, hasn't put together quite the seasons these guys have.
High volume is not equate to.
He was not a starting tight end before the season, and then they draft what's his face.
Arroyo. Give Arroyo that volume, and he has way more yards.
You just immediately think that he's gonna be their tight end 1, but no.
I mean, listen,
holds it down.
A.J. Barner obviously is a very good blocker, and I think that's why he gets his snaps. And he gets a high volume of, like, especially last game. He had so many catches, but he just can do nothing after the catch. I mean, he just falls. He just catches the ball and falls.
He can get open. He can catch the ball.
He also can't get downfield. Like, he was averaging almost no yards per catch, it felt like.
It was like 10. He had 8 catches for like 80 yards.
No, it was way less than 8. It was like 8 catches for 60, which is just not that good. I think if you give all...
He's a chain mover.
And you give that volume to Elijah Arroyo, and he's got like 100 yards, you know what I'm saying? Like, because he can be that explosive guy. The reason that you obviously have to have both is because Arroyo cannot block to save his life. But, like, I think you're overrating A.J. Barner.
Well, I think a lot of his impacts come off the stat sheet. Like, when you actually watch football.
I agree.
So I think, like, obviously,
but I don't think that's
two guys are lighting up the stat sheet, but I wanted to give him a shout out.
But, like, would you rather have an elite blocking tight end or elite receiving?
Obviously receiving.
Right.
But I don't think Arroyo's elite. I think Barner's a way better blocker.
That's not what I meant. I meant, like,
receiver.
I'd much rather have Gadsden by, like, a mile than Barner.
Yeah, that's why Barner's a shout out instead of the number one guy.
I just don't think he even deserves the shout out.
Okay, that's crazy.
Offensive lineman. Who you got?
Tanner Bortolini, my breakout player. He's been the second best center according to PFF. Great pass blocker. Pretty good run blocker as well. I really like what I've seen from him this year. I mean, the Colts offensive line as a whole has played amazing.
It's incredible.
The holes JT's getting is ridiculous. Daniel Jones is getting plenty of time.
Way too much time.
Yeah, he's been a great player, and he was like a 4th round pick who 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Hadn't really started a full season before this year.
I went with Ed Ingram, another guy that's very high on the PFF rankings. He's 7th out of all guards. Reason I put him is because we thought this... it's really bad. The Texans offensive line is really bad. We thought this Texans offensive line from top to bottom, it wasn't going to be a single player, but even kind of stood out. There wasn't a single player that was usable. We thought this was going to be historically bad. Texans fan told us it was going to be amazing. The line was going to be good. It's not. If you're still watching, it's not.
I don't know what he was talking about. Right?
But Ed Ingram has been a bright spot on that offensive line. He's been a good guard, specifically in the run game. And they could use some pass protection help, but he hasn't been like horrible in the pass pro. So I think that Ed Ingram has definitely been a pleasant surprise for a not great season for the Texans.
Yeah, I also really like Bortolini in the draft, so gotta give my boy some love.
Bortolini some love.
I also put down Darnell Wright, who's been the Bears' best offensive line.
He's been a lead, apparently.
Yeah, he's been very, very good for the Bears, allowing Caleb Williams to continue to hold on to the ball for forever. That offensive line has been amazing this season, one of the best lines at football. And yeah.
Bears fans won't admit that, though.
They'll admit that, Ben Johnson saved us.
Yeah. Darnell Wright, I saw somebody trying to say he's the best tackle in football the other day. I was like,
jeez! Like in real life?
Yeah.
Well, that's just not true. But he's been great. Like, I'm not gonna.
No, yeah, he's been great. I'm just saying the fact that he's entering these elite conversations. He's not entering. Obviously, he's not in a conversation for number one. I'm just saying he's like getting to a point where he's an elite offensive lineman off of this season. So definitely a good shout.
Yeah. Also, Matt Goncalves. I think that's how you pronounce it. The guard for the Colts.
The other guard.
Yeah. He was like a 5th round pick 2 years ago and didn't get a start till this year. And he's obviously also been a big part of their line being good.
I mean, the whole line's just incredible.
Yeah, but the rest of their linemen we knew would be good. And these two guys, first season starting, both came on and played just like everyone else.
Obviously, it's going to be a big help playing next to those guys. But yeah, but definitely been incredible. What about D lineman? Who you got?
Deone Walker.
Me as well.
Yeah, he's been very good for the Bills. He was like a 350-pound DT. Really athletic guy out of, I think, Kentucky. A lot of people thought he wouldn't be ready at all, and he was like a project, fell to like the 3rd round. I remember before last year, he was like the 2nd overall pick in these mock drafts, and then he fell all the way down to the 3rd round. But he's been very good for the Bills, especially since Ed Oliver's been hurt a lot. He's been able to start. I also put down Jalen Redmond for the Vikings. He's kind of like a bum before this year. So him turning into like a starting caliber player is pretty impressive, and I did not expect it.
For sure. All right, moving to maybe the more exciting position on the defensive line, the edge rushers. There's been a lot of pleasant surprises this season, actually. I went with Brian Burns. Kind of basic, but he has broken out in a big way. Obviously, he gets a lot of sacks, and sacks aren't everything, but he's also just been a very good edge rusher. He's kept and sustained that. I think that maybe he shouldn't be in decoy conversations like some people think he should be. But he should definitely be like, he's that guy that has no chance of winning it, but deserves to be like mentioned at the very end of the conversation. You know what I'm saying? So like you're talking about your decoys, you throw them all out there, you have a good argument. You're like, yeah, Brian Burns deserves some loves too. He doesn't deserve it, and then you move on. He's that kind of guy. He's been a very, very elite pass rusher. He's 2nd in sacks. If Abdul Carter wants to develop at any time, then they're going to be a really good duo.
Yeah, I put Micah Parsons because I'm just kidding.
I was like, what?
Yeah, I put Tuli Pelotu.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
We didn't expect him to be this good. Over the past few seasons, he's had some really good pass rushing games, but this season been a lot more consistent. Khalil Mack's been banged up a lot, and I don't think he's been that good from what I've seen. So they definitely need someone to step up, and he stepped up in a big way.
Yeah, he's been way better than I thought he'd be.
Yeah. So. And then I also put down Byron Young. He's near the top of sacks. He's kind of always been that guy who's getting like 9-10 sacks a season. Not a great run defender, but this season he's already at 9 sacks. Like he's had a great year, especially
really
rushing and passer.
Him and Verse are a great duo. So
yeah, and I also threw in Dorrance Armstrong. I don't know how well he's been doing lately, but at the beginning of the season,
he started so hot.
He was so good, which obviously we didn't expect. He was really bad last year for the Commanders.
Yeah. All right, moving on to middle linebacker. I got Devin Bush. Devin Bush been very good for the Browns this season, surprisingly. Remember him coming out, I think it was 2017, maybe 2018, out of Michigan. Just a super, super athletic linebacker is kind of what he was. I remember picking him up in Madden all the time. Fantasy draft stuff, he was my user. Because he just had like 90 speed or something. You just run around and just pick off anybody. And that's kind of what people expect him to be, this hybrid linebacker that could just fly around the entire field. He really was disappointing, on the Steelers and stuff. Just not that great. Ended up leaving. He's now on the Browns, and he's been a big help to this elite Browns defense. Been a good help in the run game. Had a couple really good plays in pass coverage. I forget what game I was watching, but he hit stick somebody midair or something, or they threw a jump ball against him or something. I don't remember, but I remember noticing him and stuff. So he's been a very pleasant surprise for the Browns this season.
They needed a linebacker to step up because Jordan Hicks, I think, retired a month before this season, and then JOK every season he's out for the year. He's a great player, but he just never plays anymore. And they needed a guy to step up, and he stepped up in a big way. He's been a great tackler, which we didn't see much in this for the Steelers, and he's continued his solid pass defense.
Yeah.
I also put down Cedric Gray. He's been pretty good for the Titans, who also had a problem at linebacker. I believe Cody Barton's their other starter. He was they didn't want him to start. They wanted someone else to take over. And Cedric Gray's been their best linebacker. Sadly, James Williams has not been that good for them, but at least Cedric Gray has. And I also put down D. Winters, one of my favorite guys in the draft 3 years ago, I think. Remember, him and Puka were my two biggest sleepers. Looking pretty good now, especially Puka, obviously. He flies the football. Really small player, which is one reason why he's not a superstar or anything. I think he's only 5'11", but super athletic, super good in pass coverage, especially this season where he's truly broken out.
Yeah. And then for a corner, this is one I'm very excited to talk about because Isaiah Rodgers is my pick.
Oh, yeah.
He was my preseason breakout player for the Vikings. Had a historic level game.
The best game in PFF history.
Oh, yeah. Very, 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 very good game. Arguably won his team the game that week. And you can't really say that for a corner very often. Very, very good. He's just been a solid corner all around. He's been a great tackler. He's been really good in coverage. He's just been a huge boost to this Viking secondary. But I think was really lacking corner depth and even just starting corners. I think Byron Murphy's not that good. He got torched a lot last season, even though people love him. And I think Isaiah Rodgers has been the best corner on this team this season. And I think that is very surprising. Even though I predicted a breakout, I didn't expect him to be this good. Honestly, it's been really good this season. So I definitely think that Vikings fans should be happy with Isaiah Rodgers. And you got him still pretty young, so you got him for a few
years.
He's
27, 28.
Yeah, he's 27, so I think he was 26 to start the year. So
I don't think he was.
I'm pretty sure he was. So you're in a good spot if you can re-sign him now and
feel pretty confident he's 27. Anyway, I put down DJ Turner, who is also my breakout. He's about to turn 28. He was also my breakout player. DJ Turner is leading the league in pass breakups. I watched that Packers game. It's not like Jordan Love was making these bad throws. These guys were had a little bit of separation on DJ Turner. He closes the gap so fast, gets in his hand in there, always breaking up passes. He's been elite for them this season, especially
elite.
Well, it depends what you think.
Glaze.
He's been very good.
He's not good.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
If you actually go watch him, the 2 games I watched the Bengals this season, I watched one and he got cooked 4 different times.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't know why we care just because he leads the league in pass breakups.
Well,
if that was the case, then Paulson Adebo's an elite corner. He's not. Pass breakups doesn't mean anything. It means, honestly, that you're getting targeted a lot.
Well, that's not what that means.
Because guess what? Riley Moss had the league in pass breakups for a while. Does that matter? No. Riley Moss had the lowest completion.
He leads the league in PIs. DJ Turner probably doesn't have a PI. Because most corners don't.
Yeah, and well, Riley Moss has 7. So
Plus, it has as many in one game as everybody does all year.
So, like, I'm just saying that, like, I think DJ Turner's getting way too much hype recently.
I also got Emmanuel Forbes because
Yeah, that's shocking.
Yeah, that's shocking. He was a bust, got cut by the Commanders. Can't believe he went in the first round. He's literally only going in the first round because a bunch of pick sixes in college. Like, that is not sustainable. Ball was being thrown right to him.
Deron Bland goes in the first round.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that'd be a way better pick. Actually, at this point, Emmanuel Forbes has looked really good for the Rams.
He's looked just as good as Deron Bland.
Yeah.
I mean, Deron Bland's being paid $23 million.
And Emmanuel Forbes is making, like, nothing.
Dude. He's been shocking. I mean, he got cut in his second season, right? Halfway through or something like that. So,
or maybe even before.
As a first
round
pick.
Was bad. It was
a first round pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also got Carrington Valentine. For me, not that surprising.
Dude, he's not even good.
He's good. He's our best corner on a top 10 defense.
That's holy glaze here. Holy glaze.
Statistically top 10
The Packers' defense is good, not great, and the corners have been the biggest weak spot on this defense.
He's the only corner on our team. And Keyshawn Nixon decides to have his games once in a while. He's not consistent.
I don't like Carrington Valentine because every time I watch him,
the ball happened twice.
The ball gets overthrown by 15 yards, and he goes,
Oh yeah, that's so funny.
Like
everyone's the defenders love him. They're like he brings the mentality.
Yeah, because he's celebrating every time he doesn't do anything.
The team,
and when he gets stiff arms for 40 yards,
that happened twice.
That's too many times.
Yeah, that's his one weakness. He just got to tackle better.
Yeah, he can't tackle. He's not that great in coverage. He's not that good of a corner.
Great coverage corner.
Holy glaze, dude.
Bro,
like this is ridiculous.
He's a great player.
Yeah, you also said that. Everyone said that about Keyshawn Nixon in the beginning of the year. Like, I don't believe Packers fans about their corners.
Okay.
They don't know what a good corner is. You also said Nate Hobbs was going to be like a great addition of a team.
I quickly realized he wasn't.
Yeah, so like, I'm done with this glaze.
Okay, whatever.
Moving on to the last position, we got safeties. I have Kevin Byard. I mean, he's very old at this point. He's way past his prime with the Titans and everything, but he's leading the league in picks right now. Mm-hmm. He's been very good, very, very efficient. I mean, he just gets to play 9 twice, so maybe we take some of that away. I saw a thing like talking about how the Bears have like the 3 leaders in picks, and everyone's like, half their picks are against 9. That's not fair. And so, there is part of that, but he's just been a ball hawk at safety this season, and something the Bears really needed in the secondary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I ended up going with Nick Cross. Been a tackling machine. Colts always seem to have multiple of those. I don't know why. I need to figure that out because it's always bothered me. But he's also an elite pass coverage player. He's 4th year in the league and he's still only 24. So young when coming out. He's super athletic. He's had a great year for the Colts. And I also put down Cole Bishop. Last few weeks, been very good for the Bills. Multiple picks.
Very good. Whoa. Holy glaze.
That's not glaze.
Yes, it is.
No glaze.
I mean, they just allowed 30-something points to the Bills. He clearly was, or to the Bucks. He clearly wasn't doing that much. Just because you have a couple picks doesn't make you a good safety.
I mean, he's easily their best safety.
That's not saying anything.
That's fair. I also put Evan Williams. Evan Williams, for the general fan who didn't know who he was, he is a star safety.
I didn't know this was just put the players you like on the list.
Bro, that is not true.
Holy.
Well, it's kind of true because I like good players.
No, you're just saying everyone that you like, even if they're not good this season.
Like who?
Cole Bishop.
He has been good.
Carrington Valentine, DJ Turner.
Yeah, you can get mad at me for Valentine, honestly. I think he deserves to be on here, but these were both my third mentions.
Yeah, you just wanted to throw him in there for no reason.
Evan Williams is so underrated.
Because McKay predicted him not to be good.
On there.
He's not surprising at all. Everyone knew he was going to be elite, and he is.
Oh, that's not true. He got paid $15 million. He was not supposed to be elite.
You said $15 million was an overpay.
Yeah, because I thought he wasn't elite. So he's surprising.
$15 million is a good price for a safety.
It's like what you get for an above average safety. Cam Bynum. Cam Bynum went for 15.
Yeah, that was just an overpay.
No, it wasn't. Cam Bynum's pretty good.
Yeah, that's an overpay. Considering we have an all-pro safety getting paid the same amount.
Oh, okay.
And Javon Holland's better too.
Considering Evan Williams is making $4 million, then all of them are
he's a rookie
$2 million.
On a rookie contract. That's the dumbest argument.
Dang it.
Anyway, we'll head out of here. If you made it to the end of the video, probably means you enjoyed it, so we really appreciate you liking and subscribing. It really helps us grow, and that's what we're trying to do. So if you like our content, make sure you like and subscribe, and everybody have a good one.